Create a new fantasy team each week with SPITCH and track the progress of your players in real time with live up to stats. Enter free-to-play or paid entry tournaments and win real money. Download SPITCH today for free. Register and play via the link in the description. After what feels like an eternity, Premier League action resumes this weekend, as we see out Game Week 23 with Burnley vs Watford on Saturday. We've got double game week plans to talk about, but first let's quickly remind ourselves of how the current game week is going so far. 2 clean sheets at the back kept things afloat in an otherwise poor showing, thanks to Ramsdale and Rudiger each having fairly low effective ownerships. Diogo Jota won a last-minute penalty to earn the only points across the midfield, as Damari Gray suffered a 3rd consecutive blank. No player during the match between Everton and Aston Villa could better Gray's 2 shots in the box, or his 0.19 expected goals figure. Somehow things get even worse when we take a look at the forwards. Captain Emmanuel Dennis, who came in with the free transfer ahead of Watford's Double Game Week 23, was sent off in the first of their 2 matches for 2 bookable offences. All hopes for points on Saturday now lie with the heavily owned Josh King. So let's move swiftly on to the transfer plans ahead of Tuesday's Game Week 24 deadline. Since the last team selection episode, we've had not 1 but 2 double game weeks confirmed, and it's now looking like it was a mistake to keep Mikel Antonio ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo. But in terms of Game Week 24 plans, a defensive transfer looks like the priority, with only 2 fully fit options as things stand. It would be a shame to lose Reece James when he's so close to a return, but Rudiger will remain in the side, and Chelsea don't have a fixture in 3 of the next 4 game weeks. As highlighted on this week's watchlist episode, Ben Davies was my number 1 choice before the extra fixtures were announced. The options are quite slim for a budget defender, with good fixtures in the next 2 game weeks, double game weeks to come, and a fixture in Game Week 27, where Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea and Leicester are without one. I'm a little bit concerned about rotation amongst the Spurs back 3, with Christian Romero due back from injury, but I'm expecting Davies to retain his place, being the only left-footed centre-back option at Conte's disposal. With De Gea and Bruno Fernandez already in the side for Double Game Week 25, and no real interest in Brighton players, it's only really Ronaldo I'm interested in adding there. Initially, the extra funds saved on a defensive downgrade this week were with a move from King to Ronaldo in mind for Game Week 25, but I'm now thinking that Antonio, if any, will be the one to sell, after the announcement of a Double Game Week 26 for Watford, amongst 7 other sides. So that means I could in theory spend more on a defender this game week, or I could now use the funds to upgrade Gray to Rafinha at some point, ahead of his Double Game Week 26. The latter is my preferred choice, and I'm even tempted to make the swap this week for a hit, providing the Leeds midfielder is past fit after his knock on international duty. The only thing stopping me is that Gray's next 2 fixtures are attractive, against Newcastle and Leeds, and Everton are now playing under a new manager in Frank Lampard, which could spark an improvement in their form. Harry Kane is also in my thoughts, either as a swap from Ronaldo, if I get him back for his Double Game Week 25, or potentially as an alternative to the Portuguese international. Whilst I don't expect too much from him against Man City in his first Game Week 26 fixture, he's got a good record against Burnley, with 8 goals in 10 games, and has 2 additional games in hand over Ronaldo. I'm definitely going to need Mo Salah in Game Week 26, so a transfer from Ronaldo to Kane that week would be for a hit. But if I can get to 8 or 9 double game week players that week for a hit or 2, that should be enough to avoid having to use either the free hit or wildcard there. And it would mean being able to use the triple captainship on Salah, ahead of home ties against Norwich and Leeds. Opting for Ben Davies this week would be on the assumption that I don't play the free hit chip in Game Week 27. But depending on the FA Cup results this weekend, there's a chance I might rethink that strategy. Whilst I think I'm fairly well set up for Game Week 27 currently, if for example we were to get 1 or 2 doubles that week, it might be worth targeting with a chip. If I did decide to play the free hit there, and was willing to commit to it this game week, it would open up the possibility of going for an Arsenal defender such as Ben White, or perhaps even stretching to Kieran Tierney, and taking advantage of their favourable Double Game Week 26. It would however mean starting Livramento against Man United in Game Week 25, where Arsenal are again without a fixture. The knock-on effect of using free hit in 27 would mean I couldn't use it in Game Week 30, which is set to be an even bigger blank game week. Although Arsenal, along with Aston Villa, are currently the only sides with a guaranteed fixture that week. So those are some future ideas. I'm not 100% set on a route forward, but Reece James to Ben Davies is my most likely transfer for Gameweek 24. And here's how the team is set to line up. There's a dilemma between the sticks this week, but Aaron Ramsdale gets the nod over David De Gea. Burnley and Wolves each rank amongst the bottom 3 teams for expected goals per game in the last 6 game weeks. And Arsenal rank narrowly above Man United when it comes to XG conceded per game in that time. So, given how close it is, I prefer to stick with the player that I consider my number 1 goalkeeper in Ramsdale. This week's transfer target, most likely Ben Davies, is set to come in place of Rudiger, who's without a fixture. Tino Livramento has returned to full training and could be available, but he's up against Spurs and Man United in the next 2 game weeks. Whilst Amari Gray has failed to score or assist in the last 3 game weeks, his tallies of 7 shots and 6 attempted assists rank joint best amongst teammates. He's also top for touches in the opposition penalty box, with 16. Newcastle have conceded 12 big chances in their last 4 matches, level with Brentford, Leeds and Southampton, and only Leicester have allowed more. Bruno Fernandez has amassed 2 goals and 2 assists in the last 6 game weeks, where his 1.97 expected assist figure trails only Kevin De Bruyne. Burnley have conceded the most shots from outside the box of any side across the last 4 matches. There's a lot of eggs in one basket up front, with all 3 forwards playing in the same match. Mikel Antonio ranks amongst the top 3 forwards on expected goals in the last 6 game weeks, only behind Edouard and Kane. Across each team's respective last 6 matches, Watford rank amongst the bottom 5 for big chances conceded, with 16, and only Leeds have shipped more than their 14 goals. But West Ham have kept just 1 clean sheet in that period, conceding 10 goals and 11 big chances. Just 6 teams have faced more shots from inside the box, though it remains to be seen how new manager Roy Hodgson will set up his Watford side. There's no standout captain option amongst the team, but Jared Bowen, Diogo Jota and João Cancelo are my top 3 candidates. Brentford have mustered up just 5 goals in their last 6 matches, with only Watford, Newcastle and Burnley managing fewer. They're also amongst the bottom 4 teams for big chances in that time, boosting the appeal of the attack-minded Man City fullback. With uncertainty over the availability of Salah and Mane, it could fall to Diogo Jota to be the difference maker as the Reds seek revenge for that 1-0 defeat to Leicester in December. The Foxes have conceded an astounding 21 big chances in their last 4 matches. The next worst defence in that respect are Brentford with 12. But for me, Jared Bowen is my preferred pick for the armband this week. He's been the top scoring asset across the last 5 game weeks, amassing 3 goals, 5 assists and 48 FPL points. No player can better his tally of 7 big chances or his 4 big chances created in that time.